The Veteran on the Highway. Leonid was already an old man when this story happened. A veteran of the Afghanistan war, he was driving slowly along a quiet country highway in his small car, heading to visit an old friend. The road stretched endlessly ahead, cutting through fields and forests. Leonid liked driving alone like this. It gave him time to think. And lately, he had been thinking about the past more and more. Old age had a strange way of doing that. Memories came back suddenly, some good, some painful. But if Leonid was honest with himself, the warm memories still outweighed the dark ones. And for that, he was grateful. He never knew his parents. Until the age of 18, Leonid grew up in an orphanage. Life there wasn't terrible. In those days, things were strict but organized. Inspectors came regularly, and the children were encouraged to develop their talents. Leonid quickly discovered his. Sports, especially soccer. He could run faster than most boys, endure longer, fight harder. His stamina and determination made him stand out. Soon, he began representing the orphanage at regional competitions, and he often came back with medals. Every time he returned with a victory, the staff organized a small celebration. Tea, sweets, applause. For a boy without a family, those moments meant everything. But when he turned 18 and left the orphanage, real life began immediately. He was drafted into the army. Leonid didn't run from it. In those days, military service was considered a duty, something every young man accepted. And so he went. He was assigned to an airborne division. Soon after, that division was sent to Afghanistan. Nothing could have prepared them for what they faced there. Young soldiers who had barely learned how to shave were suddenly thrown into real war. Gunfire, explosions, ambushes in the mountains. Leonid fought bravely. He never hid behind others. He built strong friendships with his fellow soldiers, the kind of bonds only war could create. Men who trusted each other with their lives. But 1 month before his discharge date, everything changed. Their unit was escorting a military convoy through a narrow mountain pass. None of them expected an attack. But the enemy had already prepared a trap. Gunfire erupted from the cliffs. Rockets slammed into the convoy. Chaos exploded everywhere. Orders were shouted. Soldiers returned fire. Many of Leonid's friends died that day, right in front of him. The memory still burned inside his chest like fire. Leonid survived, but barely. Shrapnel tore through his legs. Doctors fought for hours to save them, but they couldn't. Both legs had to be amputated above the knees. When Leonid woke up in the military hospital and realized what had happened, his world collapsed. He was just a young man. His life was supposed to be starting. Instead, he believed it had already ended. At night, dark thoughts filled his mind. How could a man live like this? No family, no future, no legs. Sometimes he thought about ending everything. One person noticed. A young nurse named Marina. She had kind eyes and a gentle voice. But one day she spoke to him sharply. "Don't even think about it," she said, catching him staring at the window. "You'll always have time to die. But you haven't even lived yet." Leonid couldn't answer. His throat tightened. She moved his bed to the first floor so he couldn't reach the window, and she stayed near him whenever she could. Slowly, patiently, she helped him fight his way back to life. And somewhere during those long hospital days, Leonid fell in love with her. A veteran's strength. Leonid never understood why Marina chose him. She was beautiful, kind, full of life, yet she chose a wounded soldier who believed he had nothing left to give. But Marina never saw him as broken. She saw the man he could still be. Together, they fought through rehabilitation. Leonid learned to walk on prosthetic legs. The first steps were painful. Every movement felt unnatural. But Marina celebrated every small victory like it was a miracle. And slowly, Leonid began believing in himself again. He went to college, studied agriculture. Eventually, he became a respected agronomist in a rural community. People trusted his advice. Farmers often came to ask for help with their crops. Leonid and Marina built a simple but happy life. They kept bees, raised animals. Their honey became famous in nearby villages. Soon they had a son, Ilya. The boy grew strong and energetic, just like his father once was. Years passed. Ilya grew up dreaming of becoming a soldier, just like Leonid. When he finally joined the army, Leonid felt both pride and fear. But his son proved himself strong, disciplined, respected. After finishing service, Ilya moved to the nearby city and joined a police rapid response unit. Leonid and Marina remained in the village. But then, tragedy struck again. Marina passed away. For the first time since the war, Leonid felt truly alone. His bees, his land, and his small car became his only companions. The car had been given to him by the government as a veteran. It had special hand controls. Leonid cared for it like it was a living thing. He even gave it a nickname, the Swallow. One day, he decided to drive to a nearby town to visit an old friend. The road was quiet. He drove carefully, never rushing. But 3 men watching from the roadside noticed him. They were criminals who specialized in road scams. They targeted elderly drivers. Their plan was simple: cause a minor accident, threaten the victim, demand money. Leonid became their next target. Their BMW suddenly swerved in front of his car. They slammed their brakes, then jumped out shouting, "Are you blind, old man? Look what you did to our car!" They demanded money. Leonid realized immediately what was happening, but there were 3 of them, and he was an old man with prosthetic legs. They pushed him down onto the road, mocked his disability, laughed cruelly. Leonid clenched his fists, but he stayed calm. "Listen," he said quietly. "I don't have much money with me, but I can call my son." The criminals grinned. "Call him. We'll wait." Leonid dialed. His voice was calm, but the amount of money he mentioned told his son everything. Something was wrong. 20 minutes later, a large SUV pulled up. Ilya stepped out. Behind him were 4 heavily built officers from his unit. The scammers froze. Their confidence vanished instantly. "You touched my father?" Ilya asked coldly. The men tried to back away. Too late. Within seconds, they were pinned to the ground. But Leonid stopped the beating. "That's enough," he said. "Let them work instead." The criminals were taken to Leonid's farm, where they spent the next hours digging and clearing land under supervision. Later, Leonid hugged his son. "Thank you." Ilya smiled. "Dad, next time just call me sooner." That evening, they visited Marina's grave. Then Leonid continued his trip to see his old friend. They talked late into the night. About war, about life, about how strange it was that the children they once protected were now protecting them. And for Leonid, that realization meant everything.